Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to show you some really neat items that I picked up recently that has made reloading much better, much easier, and much more precise. Stay tuned. When it comes to reloading, you can start at the very bottom where you're just wanting to reload like say 9mm and 223 brass and over time save some money. Or you could go straight to competition, 15, 20 grand you've put in, where you have every possible thing at the highest possible level. But most of us are somewhere in between there. These are not new products. They've been out there for a while, but they're new to me. But I'd highly recommend them, and I just want to show you how nice that it makes your experience. If you are a reloader or are thinking about getting into reloading, you've already got one of these or plan on getting it. Nothing new here. Pretty much have to have a micrometer. But this overall length gauge here to measure how close you are to the lands, and this lock and load comparator kit, this is for the head spacing on your brass, and this is for bullet measuring in the ogive. These are extremely useful. Alright, so let's start with this overall length gauge by Hornady. You simply get the corresponding case that's ready to go. It's a case made to screw onto the end of this. And this particular one would be 22-250. Just kind of loosely put your bullet in the end there. Then you're going to stick it in here and push it. Kind of grab hold here. Focus. Kind of grab hold here and just push it until it completely stops. Then you're going to push this. I just use my thumb. I push it pretty hard until there's just a slight pain on my thumb, and then I stop. And I'm going to turn off the camera, but then I'm going to screw it down at this point. I screwed it down. Now I'm going to let the resistance go. I'm going to pull this out. Now, it should not come out. It should be jammed up. Okay. Now, some people have different opinions on this. If you don't jam it every single time, how do you know you went all the way in there? So, to me, you should jam it and the bullet should not come out. If you notice, I have a cleaning rod. So use a cleaning rod to push the bullet back out of the chamber. And there it is. The only downside to jamming it would be it possibly engraving the bullet to a degree and giving you a false reading, but it did not do that. So I don't see any point in not jamming it. Now at this point, this should be set. All you need to do is put the bullet back in, which I'm going to have to do off camera because I'm holding the camera with my right hand. That should be jammed. All right, now I've got the Hornady bullet comparator kit that measures it to the ogive. I've simply got this set up where it should be zeroed. Yep, when it's completely shut, it's zeroed. All right, you can see it has the 22 caliber bullet. So now I'm just gonna see what the overall length is. All right, so you can see the cartridge and the bullet is seated in there perfectly. It's measuring it to the ogive of the bullet, not the tip. And I got 2.104. I did this twice, and the last time it was 2.105. I recommend doing it 3 or 4 times. So if you use the micrometer and you measure it to the tip of the bullet and you do 5 bullets, you're going to get a lot more variance than you will if you use the comparator that measures it to the ogive. Because as soon as the diameter of the bullet at its widest point, which is its caliber, starts to taper to the point, that's the point of the ogive. And that's always going to be the same, or extremely close to the same, because that's the point where it deviates from being a certain caliber and starts to taper. But if you measure to the point can be much more easily deformed, especially a lead tip bullet, and you're going to get a lot of different measurements. So using this is a much more accurate way of doing it. All right, now keep in mind, this is the jam of the bullet. This is jammed in the lands. You don't want to actually go with this. What you want to go with is back up by about 20 thousandths. So it was 2.105. I'm going to back up to 2.085, which is 20 thousandths off the lands. And so when I begin load development, I will start out at that measurement, 2.085. All right, that last one was a Nosler ballistic tip. This is a Hornady ELDM match. So there is the ELDM match. Right there's the 45 grain Barnes TSX right there. Every time I measure it, it's within 1 or 2 thousandths of difference. And basically, if you jam it in there with your thumb, it really never changes a whole lot. So, like I said on the other two, I'm going to go back 20 thousandths off of this. Actually, with this Barnes, I might go back further than that. They kind of advertise it's better to go 50 thousandths off. So, I'm going to go 20 thousandths off the lands where I jammed the other two, and 50 thousandths off the lands on this one. And this took just a matter of a couple minutes, so really time-saving move and very accurate. All right, so it's so fast and easy. I highly recommend the Hornady overall length gauge and the comparator kit and a good micrometer. It saved me a lot of time, and I just feel so much more confident that it's accurate than I used to. Make sure you test each chamber 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times, and see if there's a big difference there. If you use your thumb to push it in there with pretty good force, you're not going to have any problems. It's going to jam it in there. Just use a rod to kick it back out. No issues whatsoever. Also, when you're using your micrometer and comparator to measure it, make sure that it's seated flush, and you don't just go with the first quick measurement, but really look at it and make sure it's seated evenly. But using this method and then backing off by 20 thousandths, I mean, it's going to be hard to screw it up. Say you're off by 3 or 4 thousandths on your measurement, you're backing off by 20 thousandths anyway. You might just be off, back away from jam by 16 thousandths versus 20 thousandths. So it's going to be hard to mess it up. And once again, Barnes and other monolithic bullet makers recommend more of a 50 thousandths jump on those solid copper or monolithic bullets. So just keep in mind that.